Hey all, this is Anton. Just a little update video for you all to let you know what's coming next on HFC and what's coming in the near future. Let's start with things that have been recently completed. We have Donkey Kong Bonanza. That was a solo playthrough of mine. Had a great time with this. Might be my game of the year. The only other contender I can think of, for me personally, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which I want to get on the channel at some point, but Lord knows we have enough stuff on the list as is, so stay tuned for that. And we also had the Mario Kart World 150cc Grand Prix playthrough with Flame and myself. That was also a lot of fun. One of the better projects that Flame and I did, honestly. Again, just my opinion, you guys may have different ones. So yeah, really enjoyed both of those. In terms of upcoming Let's Plays, this isn't a secret, mentioned it before. Metal Gear Rising by Spar and Axel. We have covered MGR on the channel many times over the years through streams and whatnot, but we've finally sat down and done a proper playthrough of it, and that will include the 2 DLCs as well, the Blade Wolf DLC and the Jetstream Sam DLC, so pretty full-featured LP there. I have an LP with Tanner that I'm working on currently. I say working, it's still in pre-production. We haven't had a chance to sit down and start it yet, but hopefully that'll be up sometime during September. I'm not going to say what it is, just know, just in case, you know, plans change and whatnot, but that should be a fun one. And I've been chatting with a certain somebody via Discord, and we have a Halloween LP in the works. It's related to a game we've covered in the past, that's all I'm going to say, and that should also be a pretty fun one. Now, those are the upcoming LPs, but what about the stream side of things? Well, HFC Mario Kart Monday is finally returned. That takes place every Monday at 10 PM GMT, 5 PM EST. That's a community event where we just, you know, get together on Mario Kart World. Formerly it was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and just, you know, have a couple of hours racing and doing some knockout tour stuff and whatnot. The salt flows freely during those sessions, but it remains a good time. I'm determined to make that just a nice place to chill. Now, in regards to Twitch and the like, it is currently September over there, which means Twitch subscriptions are discounted. So if you want an easy way of monetarily supporting HFC, go nuts. You can gift subs, you can, you know, sub yourself. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get 1 free Prime sub per month, and we would be very grateful if you use that on HFC, because that helps out immensely, probably a little bit more than watching stuff on YouTube does, to be perfectly honest with you all. But besides that, we also have Patreon, that's still going strong, and that has basically been the lifeblood of the channel, you know, just allowing us to continue to bring LPs to you guys. And in the meantime, I'm working on the TV backlog, which is still massive, but being chipped away nice and cleanly at the same time. So you have your choice of how to support HFC, and of course, even if you don't want to spend a penny, just being here, watching videos, you know, leaving comments and whatnot, liking videos, that also helps immensely, so thank you all for your support so far. And in regards to content and whatnot, there's one more thing I have to mention before we move on to the Q&A backlog for this update video, and that is our 2026 charity marathon has been finalized. We'll be revealing what exactly this entails in my birthday stream on November 24th this year, and I think you're going to like this one. Let's get to this Q&A backlog, and please be aware that since this tier of the Patreon is used by just a few people, you will see the same names recurring, just in case you think you're going crazy or whatever. Alright, first question is from Ronald D. Rankin. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? This is going to be the most boring answer ever, but pizza. You can't go wrong with bread, cheese, tomato, and meat. You know what I mean? Most of the basic food groups there. You can even put vegetables on it if you want to. I wouldn't, but, you know, fruit is on there already with the tomato, and you have the dairy with the cheese, and the protein with the meat. You get a bit of salt in there as well. Just don't overdo it. But I guess if I had to only eat pizza for the rest of my life, I would wish that it was not as damaging to the human body. But, you know, you can't have too much of a good thing, otherwise you'll have a lot of a bad thing. Gold member next. What movie series, animated or otherwise, would be at the top of the list for a MovieCon marathon if you wanted to do one? Probably the Harry Potter series. Spar and I have kind of like kicked around the idea of doing that for years, but we've just never really gotten around to it. But who knows, if we continue to do well on Patreon, etc., maybe we'll have enough time to sit down and just cover the whole series. Revenant now, what's your opinion of Season 2 of Shooting Atwa's Doctor Who so far? Yes, this is a backlog. Season 2 is long since over. I really enjoyed it at the time, and I honestly thought it was better than Season 1 in a lot of ways, but I don't think time has been as kind to Season 2 as it was perhaps to Season 1. The ending is very messy. There are a lot of standout episodes in that season. Like, I enjoyed Lux, The Well, Lucky Day was pretty good, but the finale, it just didn't really stick the landing for me, and the whole thing with the Ranis kind of fell flat. Honestly, who is the Rani for these days? Like, I don't think people who would be excited about her, you know, without being the kind of fan who gets excited for anything remotely classic, would be interested in seeing her again. And it didn't really help that the reveal was very lackluster. The Doctor wasn't even present for her revealing herself, you know? So I don't know. It's a shame that he's gone, because I did enjoy, 15. But I had a good time with a fair amount of Shooty's episodes. I wish him well, whatever he does next, and I just hope the Doctor Who production team can pull their fingers out and get on and give us some decent sci-fi. It's not really asking a lot, is it? Another question from Ronald D. Rankin here. What game series or gaming theme have you thought about doing for a charity marathon that you haven't done yet? Ooh, I think Kirby would be a good one, honestly. Because while a lot of the Kirby games are very much the same, like 2D side-scrollers, there's a bunch of, like, spin-offs and whatnot that you could bring in. Like Tilt and Tumble, Dream Course, or whatever it's called. The one that the Game Grumps did a lot of. With the fucking, Obama, I'm gonna fucking pre-dude meme. Yeah, stuff like that. And obviously you'd have, like, Forgotten Land. That would be a good charity marathon. In fact, I'm gonna write this down. A Kirby marathon. I'm just tapping on my desk there to give the illusion of typing. Revenant asks, what's your thoughts on the Mission Impossible film series? I don't really have many thoughts on the Mission Impossible TM film series, TM Revenant. I don't think I've even watched the first one, but, credit where credit's due. Tom Cruise is an insane man, and his work with stunts should definitely be applauded, or at the very least respected. You know what I mean? This is a guy who knows what he wants to do, and even age will not stop him. He'll be 99, and he'll still be jumping out of windows. Back to Ronald D. Rankin. What upcoming Switch 2 games are you enjoying or looking forward to getting? Recently, I finished the Kirby and the Forgotten Land DLC, Starcross World. That was wonderful, just more of a good thing. Upcoming games I'm looking forward to. Pokemon Legends ZA, that's going to be an LP with myself, Flame, and Spar. I mentioned this during the latest HFC Mario Kart Mondays stream. I recently purchased Silksong, which is crazy to say. I never thought, we'd actually get to play the friggin' thing. I only played a little bit of Hollow Knight for a quick look, I believe. Just watching Pat Stares play a bit of Silksong, it reminds me a little bit of the Spectre of Torment DLC for Shovel Knight. Spectre Knights stuff, where you can just do, like, diagonal slashes and whatnot, and they very much bring that into the platforming from what little I've seen, so maybe I'll click more with that than I did with Hollow Knight. And then obviously we have stuff like Metroid Prime 4, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. The first year for Switch 2 is honestly pretty good, and, I didn't even mention, like, Kirby Air Riders, or any of the stuff coming out on NSO, which might include Smash Bros. 64 and Donkey Kong 64, which are pretty big gets in my opinion. Dude, I would love to see Smash Bros. Melee on GameCube NSO. Still not really sunk in for me that we have GameCube games on the service now. So yeah, lots to look forward to with Switch 2, honestly. Revenant again, do you have a favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that you can watch again over the years? This might annoy some of you. I'm gonna go with Jingle All the Way. I'm sorry, I tend to watch this every Christmas, and as schlocky as it is, it never stops being entertaining. It's just yeah, you want a little bit of schlock over Christmas, because the warm vibes that you get just endear you to these sorts of things. So, I guess besides that, maybe Terminator 2, but I've only really watched that like once or twice, so yeah, my choice, my pick, is going to be Jingle All the Way. Ronald D. Rankin again. Serious question now. How are you handling things with the Online Safety Act? Has it affected with your online career? Not so much so far, because, you know, we're just making videos on YouTube, so we don't really need to venture out beyond that. What's actually affecting stuff for us right now is that YouTube has implemented some dumb new AI thing which activates restricted mode. So you might not even be seeing a lot of our videos when they pop up in your sub feeds or when you go to our channels. And it's gotten so bad that, you know, big internet personalities like Yahtzee or Red Letter Media have made videos discussing this. So if it's affecting people of that stature, just imagine how badly it's decimating people on the lower rung. It's every day with this website, you know what I mean? Revenant again. Have you heard about or seen the latest Zombieland Saga movie trailer? Apparently we're in for a wild ride. No, I haven't, Revan. But I'm definitely going to check that out when it comes out. I'm not sure if it's like a Netflix movie or a theatrical thing, but I know aliens are involved, so it's going to be a crazy time indeed. Last couple of questions now, y'all. Ronald D. Rankin says, with 50 years of Super Sentai, what are your top 5 Super Sentai teams? You can also pick from Power Ranger teams. Ooh, I'll try to do 2 Sentai and 2 Power Rangers. And for Sentai, I'm going with Gokaiger, because great suits, really cool gimmick, just fun anniversary stuff overall. And with stuff I've actually watched, I'm going to go with Q Ranger. You know, the space one with the many rangers. I watched about half of that with Hell Dragon before we fell off it. That's my problem. I tried to get into Sentai and it's just like, I have to read subtitles? Oh gosh, no. And as for Power Rangers, I'm going to go with Zeo and SPD. Very easy picks for me there. Zeo is my favourite series, being a sequel to Mighty Morphin. It just carried forward everything, updated it, and just made it like that much deeper and more interesting. The Machine Empire, not really as interesting as Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed, but you know, they get the job done, and Rita and Zed are still there, so either way, I'm winning. And SPD, that's just great from start to finish. Cool team, great mentor, fun villain, just like, you know, it's not ACAB, it's ACAR. All cops are rangers. Thank you. Final question from Revenant here. Have you thought about doing a playthrough in future for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater? Personally, no, because stealth has never been my forte. If you've ever watched a playthrough from me, you will understand this. But, never say never. It may pop up on the live stream at some point, but it won't be from me. Thank you, Revenant. And that brings us to the end of our Q&A backlog, and indeed, this HFC update video. So, to quickly summarise upcoming LPs, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, LP with Tanner, and a Halloween LP, Mario Kart Mondays every Monday at 10 PM GMT, 5 PM Eastern, Subtembers ongoing over on Twitch, and Super Chats help out as well when watching on YouTube, and we will be revealing our 2026 charity marathon on November 24th. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It really does help keep HFC schmoving. Thanks for listening, y'all. I'll see you next time for another HFC update video. Bye-bye.